Hello, good evening, friends and neighbors, brothers and sisters. Welcome again. Another evening at 7 p.m. on Friday evening to talk to you about the work of the week and also to hear some of your concerns. This is Faisal Hassan, your member of Provincial Parliament. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge at this time the land that we now know as York Southwestern is a traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas. Hello, I guess you cannot hear me. Sorry about that. Good evening. This is Faisal Hassan, your member of Provincial Parliament, joining you again another Friday at 7 p.m. As I usually join you, before I begin, I would like to acknowledge at this time the land that we now know as York Southwestern is a traditional territory of many nations, including the Inuits, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Japwe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuits, and Métis people. Welcome, folks who are joining. I hope you can hear me now clearly, and if you can, just say you can. First and foremost, welcome. This is your member Provincial Parliament, Faisal Hassan, neighbors and friends, brothers and sisters, welcome. This is also a week, this week that the legislature has begun. But first, before we talk about the work of the week, I want to take an opportunity to wish you and your loved ones a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have an opportunity to gather safely with friends and family and celebrate all that we have to be thankful for. As the leaves begin to change colors this season, I had an opportunity to reflect on the situation we have faced with just a year ago. Family gatherings remained unsafe. Vaccines were still on the horizon, and case counts were beginning to increase in what would soon become the third wave. These were truly difficult times. But as we look forward, there is still much to be thankful for. The province recently announced guidelines for holiday gatherings and case counts are staying at a manageable level. The public health situation remains fragile at the moment, but thanks to the collective effort of the community, this Thanksgiving will be much different than the last. I'm thankful that the families across York Southwestern will be able to gather around dinner table this year. I'm grateful for the tireless contributions of healthcare workers, BSWs, teachers, and all the front line heroes, champions that keep our community moving. I'm thankful that the young people have been able to return to classrooms and appreciate every opportunity to inch slowly towards a return to normal. Above all, I'm thankful to you for your commitment to beating COVID-19 and for trusting me to serve as your member provincial parliament for York Southwestern. Those of you who are joining me, Instagram, welcome. And those who are joining our YouTube, also welcome. And Twitter and Facebook page, Faisal Hassan. Also, I want to take this opportunity also to wish you a happy Hispanic Heritage because October is a Hispanic Heritage Month in Ontario. And I want to also wish you happy Hispanic Heritage. Also, October is the Islamic Heritage Month, and I would like to also wish you a happy Islamic Heritage Month as we also celebrate for the contributions of the Hispanic communities and the Muslim communities in Ontario and their contributions in our community. Thank you. Welcome, Istar, welcome, Liban, and welcome those of you who are joining Instagram and Facebook Twitter, and YouTube. Well, this week, folks, the Parliament returned, and as the Premier have brogued in August, finally the Parliament has resumed, and the throne speech was delivered by Lieutenant Governor Elizabeth Downswell on Monday at the legislature. The speech is meant to outline the government's goals and the path it plans to take towards achieving these goals. Here in our community in York Southwestern, many were looking for investments and supports to keep the community safe and ensure people can reach the other side of the pandemic intact. Parents have been looking for investments in safe schools and more supports for students. Our healthcare system has been under strain for years, and our community has demanded investments to keep people healthy and support our frontline heroes on the front line. Small businesses have continued to struggle and still need support to keep their heads above water. Sadly, these vital investments did not materialize in Monday's speech on the throne speech. The government has chosen instead to tighten the purse strings and hold back on the vital investments our community, York Southwestern, needs. The 800 million cuts to education remain on the table, as does the plan to reduce public health units from 35 to 10. And despite calls for more help, there are no plans for an additional round of support, small business support grants, which is desperately needed in our community. We have seen also Perfect Plan closed, and many others have closed, but they needed the support now. These choices are short-sighted in an environment where businesses continue to close. Children are being packed into large classrooms, and the backlog for surgeries continues to grow. COVID-19 is still in our communities, and the recovery is still ahead of us. We need to be investing in the people of Ontario and not withholding the support that they need when they need it the most. Both the Public Accounts of Ontario and the Financial Accountability Office have identified the spending of COVID-19 resources by this government, leaving us short of the resources we need here in our community. And as you know, at the beginning of the pandemic, we have fought hard to get a permanent testing center at 200 Church Street, and also continue to fight to get a permanent vaccine facility. To this day, we don't have it, but we have been very successful of getting a pop-ups, and we have seen our community line up in long lineups to get their vaccines. Folks, welcome. Folks who are joining us, Instagram, welcome. Welcome, Thrian, and welcome, Heather, and welcome, Dr. Nan, and others who are joining us Instagram, and those also who are joining us also on Facebook and Twitter. Welcome also Hussein. Welcome those who are joining us. Welcome, Brandon, as well. We can insist on better, folks, brothers and sisters, neighbors and friends. We can hire thousands of nurses and personal support workers. I have committed to repealing of Bill 124, which suppresses the wages of nurses in Ontario, and support a $5 per hour pay increases for PSWs. It is time to honor frontline heroes with action rather than words. I have insisted on more support for schools, including smaller class sizes, and hiring more teachers and education workers. I continue to call on further investment in mental health resources for school boards to ensure students and families have the resources they need. We need to move away from favoring big box stores over Main Street businesses that integrate our neighborhoods and support our local communities. Let more businesses have access to another round of small business grant support, and I can ensure they will invest in their businesses and our communities. And this is a very important, folks, and It's important that we do that. We've seen small businesses in our community have 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 gone. We've seen Perfectly Plain, we've seen we've seen many of them close their doors. And our commitment, folks, the NDP, the official opposition, has been very clear. In this Tron speech, we want to be included a plan to hire thousands of nurses and personal support workers, a safe school plan including small class sizes. A plan includes small class sizes and hiring more teachers and public education workers. We need to make sure to support our small businesses. It's very essential. It's needed now. It's urgent that we do. It's very important that we do that right away. And folks, I know I'll just take quickly some of the questions folks have put me here. Welcome quickly here. The Aryan good says good. Welcome. And Anand says, keep up the good work, Mr. Faisal. We are with you. Well, thank you very much. Those who are joining us Instagram and Twitter and YouTube and Facebook, thank you. I join you every Friday to hear your concerns and also to update you what's happening at the Ontario Legislature and what we are doing right here at the community our community office. And quickly, I see here Hussein asking that, hello, Faisal Hassan. He says, I would like to know what you think about Dartford making ads focusing on election in June. They are blaming other governments. Well, Hussein, I mean, the election is only 8 months away. And I think it's very important. We talk about, we hold Dartford accountable and the previous governments also accountable. And I do remember the community here in York Southwestern, as you know, in 2014, when they were campaigning Clean Train Coalition. I don't know if you were a member of our community at that time. The community came together across the corridor up Express line, and they wanted electrification and electric trains here in this community. And we remember Kathleen Wynne came here saying to every single member of this corridor in community, all the way to Union Station, all the way to York Southwestern, and saying that, you know, they're going to electrify the Up Express. And we know that record. She let us down again and again. And the same thing also, the new leader of the Liberal Party, Dal Duca, was her transportation minister at the time. So to me, it's fair to hold the Liberals and the Conservatives about their record and also propose a solution to get out of this crisis. And definitely an NDP government will do that. Well, Brandon says here again, since more people are coming outside now, why are the gas price going through the roof? The news is saying that the gas prices will hit $1.50 a liter by the end of the month. Why is the gas prices so expensive in the province of Ontario? Well, Brandon, that's a very good question. And thank you for asking that. And remember, when Dartford was running, what did he said about the gas prices? And he has done nothing about it. And that's very important. And definitely is a crisis. We need to do something about it. And it doesn't make sense at all. And that's why we need an NDP government to tackle this issue and put it to a solution to this issue. And I hear you. And definitely an NDP government would be prepared to act on these issues and many issues that have been neglected, not only the last 3 years and 3 months and 8 days, but the last 15 years under Dalton McGuinty and also Kathleen Wynne. And so thank you for your questions. And thank you, folks, joining us also. Thank you also, Nikas, for joining. And also, I talked about last week about community members near the Humber River Hospital reactivation site at 200 Church Street were disappointed to learn about a lack of consultation with the community regarding a plan for supportive physical and mental health housing on their site. I learned of the project at the recent community meeting and shared my disappointment that the community voices were silenced on the issue because they were not provided an adequate consultation. And I think it's necessary that we consult the community in any project that's coming. The community, as they have told me, they are not against supporting members of their community, and also, but all they wanted is to be included in the process, as it also affects in their homes and in their community as well. And this is mainly municipal issues, but also I also want to make sure that the community is also consulted. Neighbors are happy to support people suffering from physical or mental health issues, but they expect the opportunity to have questions answered and concerns addressed. And I think that is the right thing to do, to listen to the community. I will support the neighborhoods a request to open consultation on this project and ensure everyone's voice is heard. And it is very important that our community, we have become an afterthought, and we need the community be consulted every project, and it's very important that we do. Well, thank you. I'll take quickly comments from Instagram, and Nikas V says, hello, thank you for voting to pass Roman's Jobs and Jobs bill. Sadly, the Conservatives let us down. What will your party to do to ensure people do not lose their jobs because of their medical choice? Well, that's a very good question, and I think we need to work together to address that issues. It's very important that we also educate people that as well. And thank you for joining me. And I think that bill perhaps will be coming to the House sometime in March, and I'll be happy to also, debate and contribute and my position and listening to you, the community members as well, to also bring your perspective to the legislature. Well, thank you for joining me again today. Folks, also the minimum wage has been low, and people are struggling with rent payments and living standards. Minimum wage workers in Ontario have seen the cost of living skyrocketed past their wages, and every month they have to make tough decisions. One of the Premier's first acts was to cancel a long overdue increase. I'm committed to a $15 per hour, a livable wage for workers that we have championed us as the frontline heroes, our champions and our heroes. No one who works full-time should be struggling to make ends meet or living in poverty in our community. And that's important. Any person who has interacted with our long-term care system in Ontario knows that the system has been crying for change for decades. For years, advocates have been sounding the alarm about substandard care and the need to foster an environment where seniors are treated with respect and with dignity. Prior governments pushed the system farther and farther towards privatization, and the result has been devastating in our community. Privately run long-term care facilities were cutting corners at the expense of seniors, leading to much of devastation witnessed earlier in the pandemic. We've seen the results, the report rather, of the Army, what they have saw. And we have seen these leading 9 big long-time companies, what they have done. As a result, seniors, their family members, advocates, and workers have demanded real fundamental change. The government recently has announced additional funding to support the sector, but it falls far short of what is required. The aim is to hire more personal support workers and increase the standard of care. But this requires more than just funding, folks. Neighbors and brothers and sisters, BSWs put their lives on the line during the pandemic, and we must ensure that their work is valued and respected. Over 7,300 PSWs contracted COVID-19 in Ontario. and 13 lives were lost, including the life of York Southwestern community member, our neighbor Leonard Rodriguez. I remain, I remain committed to long-term care system that honors these frontline heroes, our champions, starting with fair compensation. That is why I support an immediate and permanent $5 hourly pay increase for BSWs in Ontario. Too many workers are forced to string together part-time opportunities just to make ends meet. That is why I support recognizing BSWs as the vital professionals that they are and insist in full-time opportunities with benefits. With these measures in place, our province will be far more successful at hiring and retaining 10,000 BSWs that we need. Just give me a minute. And there is a consensus, neighbors and friends, that major change is needed. We need to fix it, long-term care. And I have continued to support legislation that will deliver on a new 4-hour minimum standard of care for seniors in long-term care and will uphold efforts to remove the profit motive from our long-term care system. It has failed us, and there's no money to make on the backs of our seniors. And we should invest their care and service and support. If we are to change the system for the better, the BSWs need to be treated as valuable partners. This Monday's government's announcement fell short on this front. Rather than cut BSW pay in the coming weeks as planned, the government should be moving swiftly on the pay increases and improved working conditions for staff. This will benefit workers, but will also ensure we can retain the staff required to maintain a safe and nurturing environment for vulnerable loved ones. We must get this right once and for all, and I look forward to hearing your support as we work towards this shared goal. And I need also for your input in that as well. Well, thank you. You are joining your member provincial parliament for York Southwestern, Faisal Hassan, and I join you every Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. to hear your concerns and also to update you. And we have been doing this since the beginning of the pandemic, 2020, March 2020, because it was necessary for me to be accessible to you, and I have continued to do so, to hear also your inputs and your questions, so also to read also your comments and share your neighbors and your friends as well on this regard. And quickly, Hussein says, how do we deal with the safety concerns in Toronto with regards to shooting and stabbings? Well, that's a very good question, Hussein, and I welcome your questions. I don't know if you have been following my work. I have said, and I've said again, that our safety, it has to be, made the community be protected. We know that the police has the responsibility to protect everyone, every single member of the community, and they should be doing that anywhere in the community. And there are measures we can take to support the community, to hear the community's concerns, but we need also to tackle the root causes of these issues. This is also the result of neglect the last 15 years under Kathleen Wynne, and also Dalton McGuinty and Mike Harris and Ernie Eves, and the last 3 years and 3 months, and also the 8 days that Ford Conservatives were governing the province. Also, they have not invested about schools after programs, jobs for young people, and also work integrated learning. As you know, young people also need experience while they are in a school, so that they gain the experience necessary, such as co-ops and internships and placements. And as you know, in February 2019, I have passed a motion at the legislature supporting exactly to create 28,000 of work integrated learning positions for internships, co-ops, and placements for young people, and also a paid positions of young people, internships and co-ops and placements, so that they gain the experience while they're in school. Unfortunately, this government has not allocated resources to just do that, and it's very unfortunate. And an NDP government will actually put a priority investing communities and also giving young people the experience necessary while they're in school, thereby providing them the experience, so that the employers won't ask them, you have no experience, you have just graduated. So I think we could do multiple things to tackle these issues of poverty and also the lack of investment that has went on. We can also make sure that we provide those investments. We could also protect communities as well to make sure that that we know where the problems is coming by getting a better intelligence as well, and also hiring young people of diverse communities to join also the police force and the law enforcement to help their community. Well, thank you for your question, and welcome those who are joining us, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and also Twitter. And folks, you are aware also the hundreds of optometrists rallied Wednesday of this week at the Ontario legislature, calling the government to properly fund provincially insured eye services, including eye exams for children and seniors. The latest proposal from the government would only bring the covered cost up to $48, leaving the optometrist out of pocket for $30 to $35 per service. This isn't fair to the optometrist or the children and seniors who are in need of vision care. I'm urging the government to return to the table and reach an agreement so that the people of York Southwestern can regain access to the vision care they need. And many of you have called me about this concern. I have also received many hundreds and hundreds of petitions, and I'll be happy next week, October 18, when I go back to the legislature, that I will be tabling those petitions on your behalf as well, and also holding the Ford government accountable in this regard. And we need to invest our healthcare from head to toe, pharmacare, dental care, eye care, because healthcare is holistic, and it is from head to toe, is our entire body. And so that's important. Welcome, folks. Those who are just joining, welcome. And you are watching, you are Member Provincial Parliament, Faisal Hassan. From York Southwestern, and neighbors and friends, welcome again. We've also had many issues. Many of you have also spoken to me about flooding, and we have received petitions. I've written to the minister about the help of the community with regards to flooding. And I was pleased to learn that the City of Toronto will be undertaking a study to determine the appropriateness of grants for victims of flooding in Rockcliffe Smythe's community. I fully support this effort and would like to see it expanded to include communities in the north end of our community that have also been let down by the city and past infrastructure investments aimed at mitigating community flooding, which have failed them completely. And we have seen also the community have requested the ombudsman to get involved. The ombudsman have interviewed the community, but they have not included that information. I think also including that streets like Liscombe and others is also very crucial and very important as well. I also continue to press for resources at the provincial level that can mitigate flooding and the impacts of climate change on our community of York Southwestern and beyond. And that is very important as well. Well, thank you. Those who are calling you, I won't be able to invite you into the Instagram to join me live. But I will be happy to answer your questions or to also read your comments. Welcome, folks. And I know that the waiting list for the Ontario Autism program has bloomed to more than 40,000 children, up from 27,000 in March 2019. Thousands of families have to make tough financial decisions trying to afford expensive therapy for their children with autism and watching developmental potential slip away. I continue to call on the Premier to prioritize the Ontario Autism program and finally provide children and their families with the support they need. These families have been waiting and struggling for too long and deserve to have a government prepared to invest the resources needed to provide for their loved ones. It is time that we get it right. Well, those who are joining, you're a member provincial parliament, Faisal Hassan. I know it is a beautiful day out there. It's a Friday, and it's an important day. It's a Friday. Many of you, are preparing also for Thanksgiving, and happy Thanksgiving to you, folks. And you're joining, you're a member provincial parliament, Faisal Hassan, NDP, Instagram. Faisal Hassan NDP Twitter, and Faisal Hassan NDP Facebook and YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed on my YouTube, please do and subscribe it. So that we can also send you instant updates and instant information right away. And also, many of you also have complained about construction noises and also noises also of the trains. And many of you also have spoken to me about the promise of Metrolink, also the MTO, making sure creating walls about the noise, and also petition for the highways and so forth in our community, and that hasn't been done. So I have been also engaged with MTO offices and also Metrolink to get it to fix those things. And I will be able to get in touch with you. And if you had any concerns, any issues, you can also write to me, fhassan co at ndp.on.ca. You can also phone me 416-243-7984. Well, thank you, folks, for joining me this evening from 7 p.m. And I will be with you until 7 p.m. Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me? You can hear me? I don't know what's going on here. Just give me a minute. I'll fix this. Okay. Can you hear me now? How is the volume now? How is it about now? Can you hear me? Is that clear now? My volume? How about now? Can you hear me clearly? Could you say something now? Nick, can you hear me? Just write something so I could see if you can hear me now. Is that clear? Yes? Just let me know. Say thumbs up. You can hear me clearly? Yeah, just write that if you can. Yeah? Is it too low? Can you hear me? Just let me know. Just say, just write it, Nikas. Just write it quickly if you can hear me clearly now. Okay? You are? All right. Just let me know so that I can continue now quickly. Well, I know that these construction noises, ever since the government decided to override the city's authority to limit construction activity in April 2020, residents living near residential and commercial construction sites have been complaining of bothersome construction noise morning and night. People are exhausted and distressed. Many residents have been working from home during the pandemic and have had no reprieve from constant noise. I'm urging the government to resume bylaws to restore the authority of municipalities to set their own construction noise bylaw after more than 18 months, it is time for Premier 4 to allow our construction noise bylaws to resume. Can you hear me now? Is that clear? Okay, let me just maybe end it and then come back. Maybe not. Okay, how about now? Is now better? You can hear me. I'm just talking to folks from Instagram. If they're having issues that they cannot hear me, just let me know quickly if that is an issue so I can fix it right away. Welcome, folks. Welcome those who are just joining. You are joining your Member Provincial Parliament, Faisal Hassan. You can also share with your friends if you want to, so they can also hear our Friday chat. Bring your coffee and tea and any beverage you like, and let's talk. And I know the Parliament has resumed this week, and it will continue until. Sorry, I cannot. Oh, you cannot hear me. Okay, let me just take. Can you hear me now then? Can you hear now? Let me know now if you can hear me now. Is that better? Just let me know if you can hear me now. Okay. Can you hear me now? Just let me know if you can hear now. Can you hear me now then? Yeah? Just let me know if you can hear quickly. So if it is just Instagram, so I can fix it. Yes, very good. So now it's better. So the microphone is out. Now you can hear me. Very good. Well, thank you very much. So those who are joining, Shogi, welcome. Ubah, welcome. Abdirsaq, welcome. And welcome Farah also. And those who are joining on also Instagram and YouTube and Twitter, Faisal Hassan NDP, and my page, Faisal Hassan NDP, and Instagram, Faisal Hassan NDP. And if you haven't registered or joined my YouTube, please do so. So you get also Instagram, instant notifications right away. And I know that folks, I've talked about last week, a lot of issues of housing, childcare, and auto insurance. We talked about long-term care this evening, and I just want to reiterate that long-term care, we need to fix it. Definitely an NDP government will fix this. And if you also want to read our program about the long-term care and home care plan, you can actually search Ontario NDP long-term care and home care plan, and you'll be able to read it. And if you want to receive a copy, I'll be happy to send you quickly a copy through email if you want, or I can mail it to you. You can write it to me, fhassan-co@ndp.on.ca, or you can phone 416-243-7984. I know housing also is a huge issue in our community and across the province. And we know that the history of this, I've talked about many times, but I also will repeat again. This crisis has begun in the 90s, 1996, when John Crutcher and Paul Martin, the federal Liberals, were government in Ontario. They have downloaded housing responsibilities, and they have said we have nothing to do with housing, and they downloaded into municipal authorities or provinces to deal with. And what did the provincial governments do, especially in Ontario? Then was Mike Harris was the premier, and then Ernie Eves, Dalton McGuinty, and Captain Wynne, they all downloaded to municipalities. We know our city, our mayor, His Worship John Tory, is doing his best, and city councillors, including our city councillor here. But the challenge is they cannot handle the housing crisis alone. We need to get involved provincially and get it, and once for all, deal with this. And we had put together a plan. And if you haven't read our plan, you can also search it, Ontario NDP Housing Plan. And if you like to have a copy or for me to email you, you can write to me, fhassan-co@ndp.on.ca. untitled.on.ca. You can phone me at 416-243-7984, and I'll be happy to share with you. Okay, and also I've talked about also auto insurance. Postal code discrimination is a huge issue, and it is unacceptable that community like ours is targeted because of our postal code. Some of you are paying a high premium on your auto insurance, and every year it goes up and continues to go. For example, case in point, in the middle of the pandemic, still the auto insurance has went up and continued to go up again. And that's also a concern because many of you have been not driving, because people were staying at home and the cars were parked on your driveways, on your front of your houses, your basements and so on. And now you're still paying higher premium rates because no brakes. And this is not right. I heard some community members have gotten some breaks. The majority of the community did not. So we need to fix that. We want fairness. That's all we want. And we don't want postal code being a factor for determining auto insurance, getting an auto insurance. And we're hearing also, as I had a town hall meeting on auto insurance, I've invited my colleague, Member Provincial Parliament for Brampton North, our official opposition's critic for auto insurance, Kevin Yard. And Kevin Yard also have informed me some of these auto insurance companies are considering a credit history as determining of an auto insurance, which has nothing to do about your credit history, about how you drive a car. Has nothing to do with that. It's another way of also punishing people, and that's not right. And he also told me that there are some good insurance companies that do not want to go that direction, and that's good. But we need also, they have to be fair. And I'll be fighting to ban postal code discrimination, determining as on the basis of auto insurance. And we've seen that many of our community have struggled with that, and we don't want it, and it has to come to an end. So that's also something I'm working on your behalf as well. Well, those who are just joining, you're joining Faisal Hassan. You're a Member Provincial Parliament for York South Western, and I join you every Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And friends and neighbors, welcome again. You're joining, those who are joining on Instagram, welcome. And those who are joining also Twitter, welcome. Faisal Hassan NDP, Twitter and Instagram, and also Facebook, Faisal Hassan NDP, welcome. And also on my YouTube, if you haven't subscribed, please do so you could get instant updates, and also to also update you issues we're debating at the legislature, so you can actually follow me, what I'm doing, and so you know what I'm doing on your behalf. And if you want to also share an input or suggestion, an idea, or something, issues you're struggling with, you don't have to wait a Friday. You can simply also call my office to book an appointment, because the office is open now, and we are able to book appointments to meet with you. The constituency staff is here to serve you. You can also write to us, fhassan-co@ndp.on.ca, or you can phone me at 416-243-7984. Well, welcome, folks, and let me know what you are thinking lately, and what important issues you're concerned about. Let me know about that as we also prepare for Thanksgiving. I also want to say to you, happy Thanksgiving on Monday. And, it is an opportunity to spend time with the family and friends, and also to make sure, this time, this year, we can get together and also come together as well as families and friends. And as your member of provincial parliament, also, I'm interested also to hear your concerns. Any issues you are concerned about, any issues you want to talk to me about, I would like to hear them. Please let me know, and I will be happy to respond to you. You know, my office is located 1965 Western Road, and I can be also reached at 416-243-7984. And also you can write to me, fhassan-co@ndp.on.ca. Also, our community, as I said, also small businesses are struggling. They are struggling, and we have seen also the government try to open the big box stores and close down small mainstream businesses, which are in the heart of the community. We have seen, sadly, our lost or closed down the Perfectly Plain, you know, and many other like Whiff Restaurant and others that could not make throughout the pandemic, and we need to support them. Also, we know that Killsdale, in the heart of Killsdale, the Eglinton Crosstown have also affected there the businesses in our community, and they have struggled. They have struggled prior to the pandemic. And during the pandemic also, it hit them hard. And we've been trying to make sure that the Ministry of Transportation and Metrolink have to support these businesses that have lost so much in that period. And I know that it is entire Eglinton Corsto BIAs that have been also affected. And I know that the ministry have said that they have supporting them to clean their windows and to clean front of their businesses. That's not what they need. That's not what they need. What they need is immediate relief. They need support. They need help. They need to come out of the pandemic. That's what they need, is specific support of what they have, how they have struggled, so that we make sure these businesses are supported, so that they won't close down. They've been struggling for so long. That's why we need to support them now. And I have written, as you know, to the Minister of Transportation, as this is also her responsibility. I'll continue to raise as I go back to the legislature as well. And I hear Farah Abshir on Instagram says, we are ready for the better. Thank you. Actually, we have from bad to worse. And I agree with you, we need for the better. And definitely an NDP government can deliver, and this community and across Ontario deserves better. And we can do it, folks, together. Don't wait. Now is the time to get involved. If you want to also support financially for my upcoming election, what you can do is you can also visit ysw.ontarionDP.ca. There you can click and you can sign up to donate. You can do that. Whatever, every dollar counts, folks. And that's also an important to get support to make sure that we have an NDP government. We have seen the Liberals the last 15 years, Dalton, Del Duca and Kathleen Wynne. We've seen Dr. McGuinty. We've seen the Liberal team and so forth. And we have also seen the Conservatives then, Mike Harris, his privatization. We've seen also the salt of hydro and others. And we have seen this cuts to education. This government alone have cut last year 800 million for the education. And we need to support our schools, our teachers. We need to hire more teachers, more education workers. We need to get down small class sizes to make sure our kids have an upper opportunity on Head Start. Also, as you know, childcare is an important issue, and many members of our community cannot afford childcare. And I think it's an opportunity for all of us now can work together to get it done. because the federal government is now saying that they are ready to work with Ontario, making it $10 per day childcare. And I think we have asked the Premier to move quickly and implement this, so that we could have at Pelmo Park School, we could have another, a daycare center for families there. We could have many community centers here, and communities can afford a childcare at $10 per day. That will be fantastic. We've seen the Liberals have promised for over 30 years a childcare, but they haven't delivered. But now it's an opportunity to move quickly and work with them and deliver this, definitely. And we need to pressure Doug Ford, and we'll hold him accountable. And if he's not willing to do it, definitely an NDP government in June 2nd will deliver it for our communities and across Ontario. So I just wanted to let you know that as well, because we need to tackle those important issues. I know that also we need to make sure that we need issues such as affordability. If the community is paying $500, $700, $400 for auto insurance, if they're paying average $1,400 for childcare for a month, how are they going to afford life? And also housing is a huge issue as well. So this is the time to fix this. And we have seen the Liberals, they had plenty of opportunity in the last 15 years to get it right, and they haven't done so. So they had an opportunity to do so. They haven't done it. So we need a different direction, a government that can deliver and do it. An NDP government will do it, folks. And Farah says we need to build an economy that works better and for more. I agree with you. And definitely, Farah, we need to make sure we invest jobs. And let's talk about economy that works. And that is better for more jobs. What we can start is early on in the schools. We need to provide our young people the jobs for the future. To do that will require, we provide them internships, placements, and co-ops while they are in universities and colleges that are paid. So we connect them to corporations, to jobs that are out there, so that they know what field of study they're going to work. And those field of studies and the jobs that are there, when they already know the managers, middle managers, and their bosses in their field of study, then the chances of them landing a job, it's greater when they have work integrated learning, where we will also integrate work in school and think about that, that we also think about the jobs of these people, especially young people that are in schools, colleges and universities, that when they graduate, it took them 7 years, 10 years to learn unemployment, because most of the employer will ask them, do you have an experience? And if you don't have the experience, and if we don't provide them the experience, well, they're in universities and colleges, when are we going to do that? So that's why I put forward a work integrated learning motion, which was passed at the legislature, and I've asked to create 27,000 internships, placements, and co-ops at the universities and colleges, and those who are recent graduates and those who are unemployed also are eligible, and also supporting those also wants to go into the skill trades to provide them also a paid, a cooperative, a co-op, working with unions, with private sector, to make sure that we provide them paid positions to gain the experience necessary to handle those skills. And these are good paying jobs. So that's where first we will start making sure we invest the jobs out there. We should also think about the green economic future, because the green economy can create more than 1 million jobs quickly. And the NDP have also proposed our green, new democratic green deal. You can Google, and also you could check it out. It has so much hope, justice, and also opportunities for all our members of our community. We need to do that. It's very important that we focus job creation. because we have a problem now. There's a lot of people are not working, and also in our community, unemployment is above the national average. We need to have different ways of tackling this, and we have the ideas, we have the plan. We need in June 2nd to form government so we can implement them. And travel fit books, welcome Ayana. And Ayana says, I think instead of taking your child to work, we should take someone's child to work. This will expose children to jobs they never heard of. Excellent, Ayana. Absolutely. Folks, if you don't know Ayana is a children's books author. And also please support our local children's books author, such as Ayana Francis. And you're right, we can do that also. We can also monitor other kids in our community to take them under your wings, nurture them, provide them the experience necessary so that they also go into other fields that they have never experienced. And that's why we need to give young people the summer jobs so that they're exposed to different fields of studies, so that they can also inspire to be scientists, engineers, doctors, and other fields of work, so that we can also provide them while they are in university and colleges, paid positions, so they can also interact. So that's why we call it work integrated learning, where they will study at school and then provided the hands-on experience as well, so that they also early on understand the importance of work. And absolutely, you're right, Francis, Ayana, that we need to take to work. We should take someone's child to work to show them what we do, what you do, what your work is, so they are inspired to also think about the profession in which you are belong to, so that they can also inspire to do so. We can also create the opportunities also to give them opportunity. Government can do so much, but we need the right government, folks. And June 2nd should be the opportunity to have an NDP government to do all these things. And definitely it will not be enough for 4 years to fix this crisis that the Liberals and the Conservatives have created, that we need several terms of NDP government to fix this problem. But let's start first June 2nd for getting involved. And don't wait, folks. Just get involved early and get involved now, and also contribute. If you want also to help my campaign that's coming up, you can also visit ysw.ontariondp.ca, and you can actually there donate, get involved. We need to make sure we have the resources we need to fight for my re-election, and to make sure that we also have an NDP government. Get involved also in your community. If you don't live in York Southwestern, get involved. The NDP riding associations there, get involved with your candidate there, so that we get make sure that in next election we have not what happened in 2018 when Kathleen Wynne comes out and says, "Give us some seats. Don't give NDP, don't elect them a government. Give us some seats." And she was responsible. What happened in 2018? We could have formed government in 2018, but because of her messaging, a lot of people thought she has a chance. Folks, progressives, next time we need to go all the way to new democratic government, so we could make sure that we address the crisis and the issues that we have, so we could help our healthcare, our education. So we make sure we support our teachers, our heroes, our frontline workers, and our communities as well, so that we could deal with the crisis of climate change. We can deal with housing. We can deal also childcare and employment issues and the environment and indigenous issues. I've always forget about that. Indigenous issues it's very important that also we deal with also nation to nation. And also I'm inspired by my colleague Sol Mamakwa, his work in our caucus, and others also in my caucus, also my leader, Andrew Horvath, and I look forward working with you to just do that, folks, to solve those issues. And I'm proud to be a member provincial parliament for York Southwestern, and I'll continue to accountable to you and also hear your concerns and your issues. And I'm going to work hard to earn your trust and confidence. Well, thank you. That's it for me, folks, because it's 8 p.m. now. Those who are joining Instagram, Faisal Hassan, NDP, thank you very much. And those who are joining YouTube, I'm sorry, I cannot read your comments, but thank you for joining me at Twitter, Faisal Hassan, NDP, and also Facebook page, Faisal Hassan, NDP. Thank you very much. Those who have joined and those who have also shared their questions and their comments, thank you. And also YouTube. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, please do so. Check it out. Faisal Hassan, Member Provincial Parliament. Faisal Hassan, MPP. Okay. Well, until then, folks, thank you for joining this evening. I will be also joining you again next Friday at 7 p.m. again. And I look forward to hearing your comments and your questions. And I look forward to also working with you and working to deliver results for you, hopefully getting ready for the next election. But in the meantime, we need also to work with the current government to make sure that we get results that we need. Okay, thank you and have until then, bye.